Hello guys, welcome to day 2 of our lesson. Today we will look into how to structure a comparative essay. So the objective of today's lesson would be what is comparative essay, the structure of a comparative essay, how to write an introduction with example, formula for thesis statement. Let's move on to understand what is comparative essay. A comparative essay is all about comparing two subjects to explore how they are alike and different. For this unit, we will focus only on how they are alike, that is, similarities. The structure is simple but important for organizing your ideas clearly. A well structured comparative essay has three main parts, which is introduction, body paragraph, and conclusion. Now let's look at how to write each of this. Your introduction consists of three things: hook, brief summary, and a thesis statement. Hook starts with an interesting opening statement that captures the reader's attention. It is basically an attention grabber. It can be a statement, a quote, anecdote, fact, data, etc. But it should speak about the main idea of the question. Brief summary. This is a place where you will provide a short summary of the text and introduce two subjects you're comparing. Ensure that you're summarizing the idea of the text based on the question. Ensure you are summarizing the idea of the text based on the question. Finally, this is the last and the most important sentence of the introductory paragraph, which is a thesis statement. This thesis statement is a place where the points has to be focused. This is an important part of a paragraph. It states that the idea you will be explaining in your body paragraph, which is extremely important. You will present the points of your body paragraph over here. Just mention it. Next, coming to body paragraph. Here, you will be using your point, evidence and analysis, or point, evidence and explanation structure that we have already learned in yesterday's lesson. And let's see how we're supposed to do it over here in a comparative essay. The body paragraphs are the heart of your comparative essay. Each paragraph will focus on a particular aspect of comparison. We will use the PEA method or PEE method as we have already stated. The same aspect goes for our PEE method or PEA method. Point is the main idea. Evidence is to support your point, and analysis is where the evidence supports the point. So the main idea of the paragraph of what you are comparing. This will come from your thesis statement. It should not be something new. It will come from your thesis statement. Evidence. You use specific quotes to say that I'm stating a point based on something which I have as evidence. Okay, which I'm not saying random facts, rather I have evidence to prove my point. In analysis, it is supporting statement and explanation to show that the evidence which you're stating presents the point, and you'll have to do it clearly. Now, the last aspect is going to be a conclusion, where you will be restating the thesis statement. In this part, you will summarize the main points of comparison. And next very important point is opinion. This is a place for you to present your own perspective. You will reflect on comparison and offer your perspective. Now, having looked into the structure, let's focus on a question for better understanding, which will also serve as an example. So the comparative question that we'll be dealing now as part of an example would be: compare Bruno's old and new house. Before starting to write my introduction, body, and conclusion, I will first outline some of the similarities I see with respect to Bruno's old house and new house. And guys, though you can list multiple points for your exam, especially in this exam, you will be using only one point as your focus point that you'll be doing in your body paragraph. But for outlining, you can brainstorm multiple points. So the points that we have come up over here are size. Both the houses are large in size. The old house is 5 floors and the new house is 3 floors. Exploration. Both the house presents an opportunity for exploration. For example, the old house, the nooks and crannies within the house. In the new house, the fence is outside the house. View. Both the house present a view, a specific view. In the old house, Bruno was able to see entire Berlin from his window, and in his new house, he is able to see the fence and a little bit of what is beyond the fence from his new house. Emotions. So, emotions is the next point, where both the houses present Bruno with certain type of an emotion. The old house presents happiness, whereas the new house presents sadness and longing. As we see in this outline, a number of similarities are presented. As I've already mentioned, you'll be using only one similarity for this exam, whereas in your other exams, you'll be using at least two similarities and two contrasts or differences. Over here, we are confining ourselves only to similarities, and in similarities, only one of it. Now, having done our outline, let's use the structure of our comparative essay. And especially in today's lesson, we'll be concentrating about using the structure of a comparative essay's introduction alone. So let's start with it. Introduction consists of three parts, as already stated. It has a hook, it has a brief summary, and it has a thesis statement. As already stated, a hook starts with an interesting opening statement that captures the reader's attention, and it has to be based on the general idea of the question. The question is about Bruno's old house and Bruno's new house. So, I'll be presenting a general statement about a house. Look at the example over here. A house is more than just walls and roof. It's where memories are made and lives are shaped. It's a general idea about the question, which is the house. Now, moving on, we have a brief summary of the question from the textbook. Okay, so this is a place where you will provide the comparative point as also, and also present a short summary of it. So the example is, in the novel The Boy in Striped Pajamas, Bruno is forced to move from his old house in Berlin to a new house near a concentration camp. These two houses represent different emotional stages in Bruno's life. If we carefully observe, it is not the summary of the entire book, rather it is a summary of the houses, which is the focus of the question. Therefore, ensure that your summary details the idea of the question from the book. Finally, the last and most important part of our introduction, which is a thesis statement. This is a place where you will state the point that you will be dealing with in your body paragraph. So a good thesis statement will have the idea of the question, which is the house, and it will also mention what you are doing. In this case, you are only comparing, so you'll have to mention that you are comparing somewhere. And finally, you have to present the point that you will be focusing on in your body paragraphs. See this thesis statement. For example, this essay will compare Bruno's old house in Berlin and his new house in Outwith, focusing on their similarity in size. Is it clear? So we have the idea of the question, which is old house, new house, and what we are doing, we are comparing, and it is mentioned in the beginning and as well as towards the end, which is stated as similarity. And the point that we are going to focus on will be either on size or the emotions associated in both the houses. And though it is mentioned in size, you will consider one of it. Okay, having understood how to write a thesis, how to write an introduction, let's look into one of the important aspect of the introduction with the thesis statement. This shows that you have an idea about how you are guiding your reader and whether you are an informed writer or not. So for that, we have a simple formula to help you assist writing a thesis statement. You can use this formula. The essay will compare subject 1 and subject 2, focusing on point 1. So this essay will compare what is subject 1. It is going to be Bruno's old house, and what is subject 2? It is going to be Bruno's new house, focusing on what? As stated earlier, it will be either on size or on the emotions associated with both the house with the character Bruno. Use this thesis statement formula to come up with your own formula. To make things interesting, I have a question for you to practice. The practice question is, compare the first encounter of Bruno and Shumel. I'm repeating it once again. Compare the first encounter of Bruno and Shumel. I encourage you guys to come up with the outline as it was presented over here, and also sorry, let's focus on only outlining. So I want you guys to outline to write an outline for the question similar to this, and we will have a discussion in a class and also practice doing our outline during our class sessions. If you have any doubts, please feel free to write an email, or you can clarify them in our classes tomorrow. So until tomorrow, see you then. Have a great evening.